winner. Pay the front line, take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point.
This is my formal introduction to the Chicago-based conscious poetry rap outfit that I found perusing through Bandcamp. I virtually know nothing of the group aside from their names and their roles, being Jeffrey Michael Austin, who is the lead producer, while Mackenzie Chin and Michele DeVille, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, respectively are the vocalists on this album. And after listening to it a couple of times, I was pleasantly surprised by what this album had to offer in terms of its content. It's 17 tracks and 50 minutes long. And across its runtime, there are a ton of topics regarding the tragic histories and current events of black people, as well as exploring the different meanings and restrictions tied to the word freedom. For example, the hazy track, First We Need a Body, Mackenzie's very open and honest poetry centers around how different beliefs, institutions, and cultures have shackled what people can do with their bodies sexually and autonomously. The biggest thing that she brings up here is the Catholic Church equating masturbation to murder. That should be pretty self-evident why that's wrong. There's also another sharp poetry track in Peace After Revolution. I love the lines referencing the women's marches of old, not including women of color, Mackenzie losing track of how many people were wrongfully killed, stating that there are too many to mourn, and calling out a lot of people in power who have been too slow or stagnant to change anything for the better, all under this aerated vocal delivery that I think makes every word sound important. And despite talking about all these pressing concerns, she is still able to bring an element of optimism by the track's conclusion. The hip-hop center tracks are great as well. The opening Shout Across Mountains has zen-like production with the airy keys and misty background. The verses are nice too, and I also love the refrain here. Other big highlights include the track Decide, which has a nice bass line and some droplet flourishes. What DeVille says on this track is pretty heavy in terms of the lack of definitive history black people have access to due to revisionist information, and describing the impact it has on people looking for their heritage. And the song Young Troop discusses a lot about strenuous working conditions and the upbringing of kids in low-income neighborhoods, and how oddly romanticized it has become in big-time media. I immediately thought of like sports drafts, where when a player is selected, they bring up almost too much information on their rough situations like poverty and people dying to assign them a sense of empathy rather than celebrate their moment and their hard work. There are a few spots on the album that did not hold my attention all that much. California Matter Conspiracy stood out to me as the weakest poetry track. Not in regards to its subject matter, which I found interesting, it's just I didn't find myself all that invested in the presentation of the track. America just does not have the production chops to keep up with the empowering lyrical topic on this track. It sounded so lax in this moment of truth. And I will say another thing that puts a hamper on the album experience is some of the anti-adventurous instrumentals. The overall sound direction of the record is coasty and unintrusive. Some of them sound like they're taking place in an oasis, with the sound palette mainly consisting of these prolonged guitar notes and earthly samples, but it doesn't always fit. Not in the manner that they're badly performed or anything like that, but more so that some of the hip-hop tracks especially could have benefited from more colorful and interesting beats and backgrounds. Regardless though, I think this is an album definitely worth checking out. Like I said, it was a pleasant surprise as well as a very informative and very personal experience as well. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down below, and I will see you in the next video. I'd give it a...
Check me out, y'all. I ain't a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, Clay.